have to still get 3 quotes from contractors. One of them has to be a lead certified. Like Gary already mentioned, we have to rehab one home if we do get this money. One home gets rehabbed completely, and the other, like you said, the 5-year, they take out, there'll be a lien against it, and then the people who want roofs, there's still a lien against them too. So it isn't necessarily,
Right, Stephanie from Chastain's is helping us group.
well, you're doing a great job. And the high point dream is, the maximum on this grant is $950,000.
Yeah.
And we did talk about that. That's kind of scary, like, should we go for that full amount? Should we put that in the application? Or will they throw it out like, oh, no, we're not gonna do that much, because they have to disperse this through the state of Illinois.
We applied for 750 because we had so many homes.
Right.
And it's,
So there was a lot of work, and thank you, Gary, too, for, especially if you put the link on.
so the only other thing I wanted to add, the eligible household numbers, how you qualify for this. All program participants must have household incomes not exceeding 80% of the area median income, based on family size. Preference is to be given to households below the 50% area median income. And that median income, when we did that housing through the state, sets all that for us.
Right,
So all those numbers are already,
in place,
you
right.
know, in place,
Mhm.
so.
What you call those, Jan, like we get, I call them check marks,
They're points.
points, yeah.
Yes. And the committee that would review the applications is Gary, Selena, Angel, and Janet.
Finance.
Yeah, basically that's the finance. 2 people off of finance
And
and
we
then
all
2
have to
officials.
submit resumes for that,
Yeah.
or to just to be on the committee.
We won't know till December if we get
Right.
there or not.
I get that.
I'll make the motion.
Perfect. Have a
I'll
second?
I'll
You have a
second
All right.
Okay, the letters of support we have in place, Jan?
I have done one, Abby has done one on behalf of ACPA, and then we also got, I reached out to Anthony, who is the pastor at the Christian Church.
Okay, so you
Same
got it.
one, yes.
Okay, good.
This is resolution 22-4.
This is for the revitalization plan we're doing?
Yeah,
now?
we're approving the revitalization
Yes,
first, and then we approve
the home repair.
authorize the home repairs.
Yes,
Ready for roll call?
yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes, but pardon me, I didn't get the resolution number.
Oh, 22-4.
Thank you.
Wallman,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
All right, up next, we have the motion to approve the resolution authorizing the city to participate in the home repair and accessibility program with the Illinois Housing Developmental Authority. And that would be resolution number 22-5.
I'll make the motion.
Second,
I'll second.
any discussion? Roll call, please.
Reed,
Yes,
Smith,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Wallman,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes. All right, up next, we have the motion to approve the TIF application for 133 South Chestnut Street. This is Barnes's. If you kind of go through it, you'll see the different things that is going to be happening. His request has been for $8,500.
I'll make that motion.
All right. Yes. You have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Smith,
Yes.
Wallman,
Yes.
Sullivan, Reed,
yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
All right, up next, we have a motion to approve to distribute preliminary subdivision plans for Grow Assumption. Mark, you want to discuss this?
Yeah, so last meeting, I was authorized to prepare an estimate along with that as an exhibit to show on what is gonna be included in that estimate. And so I've got, the exhibit, kind of what we're, has been discussed the last meeting, this is what we're, planning for the subdivision, and really just, want your guys' blessings. It was approved to, put it together, so we're putting it together. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those, but, and I'd like approval, Grow Assumption like to pass this out, and, I wanna make sure the city's aware of what we're preparing, and then I figure probably the next meeting we'll have, the estimate cost, and, then where we go from there, so, you have any
This is
questions?
just your design.
This is just, yeah, the exhibit, I guess I want to put the exhibit together, as I thought about it, before I prepare the final estimate, I would like to, if you've got any comments, I'd like to incorporate those. I don't want to go through a bunch of iterations with changes, and now, it is a draft, it's not final, so, but, the discussion was, what is the most economical, feasible way to get a subdivision at this location, and this is what, what we have put together, and I kind of think that this is what's most economically feasible, so.
What are some of the highlights?
Highlights, I guess, so, pump station, west end, that'll discharge through a force main to the new sanitary sewer, just east, south, and south of the concession stand. Water will be extended to the south, just south of where, if everybody knows where John Hull House is and Dollar General. Looking at the ordinance, the access road would be an oil and chip, and then there would be, lots would be 150 by 150. Drainage, the west end of the lot, because the ground sheds off to the west, so, it's pretty straightforward. It's just a kind of a typical subdivision, but, I'd like to make sure that the city's aware of what we're putting together, so I can finish the estimate.
So are those drainage areas, are those gonna be like retention ponds like the one by GSI?
Yeah, a little different than GSI. The way that one works is not exactly how this one, but yes, there'd be a little retention pond that will, slow down the water and then relief it to the ditch to the north. It's, we follow the city ordinance for a 100-year storm at a 5-year event. So that's how we would design the retention pond to
So
maintain and slow down the water, because I'm a big supporter of drainage improvements in the city of Assumption.
We definitely need that.
Absolutely.
So will the sanitary easement be underground or above ground?
It'd be a force main, so it's going to be an easement. An easement follows a property. It doesn't necessarily follow, above ground or below ground. It's the legal description for, Greg could definitely answer this probably better than I can, but it follows what is the legal description for where you give rights to put whatever utility you need to put in. And in this case, it'd be a force main, and it's an easement, from the property owner. That's how that would be. The city already owns this right here, this property. So
Oh, I was just getting ready to ask, what does, I'm taking my glasses off, FM meant?
force main. Yes, yeah. We talked about running a sanitary main south of, say, Dollar General. If you know where the new water treatment plant's going to go, but then we'd have to bore the road. Twice for the sanitary sewer and then the force main to get it back. So this is the most efficient way to accomplish the project anyways. And this is, it's not final, but I am going to have an estimate. I want to get the estimate together so then we can move forward with it.
Maybe some more time. You got any questions?
Speaking of Dollar General, Kale Brothers is talking about addition onto the back of their
Do you have anything Joyce is gonna add?
east building, which is actually behind Subway,
Okay.
but they're going like 100 feet south.
Okay, this is first, this is not this topic, but I'll be more than happy to talk with you about it.
Yeah.
You wanna get with me after?
Well, you was talking about extended sewers and stuff, and,
But it's nowhere near, you're talking about, you're talking north up here and, behind Subway, that's north of where we're talking
right,
about.
I
yeah.
realized that.
Yeah,
All right, Joyce, you said you had a question?
Just, if everybody's questions are finished on that, I was just wondering about the next step. We've had several people contact us with interest in this, and so we wondered if we needed to get a letter of interest. I don't know exactly, it's kind of a chicken and egg thing now. Nobody's going to commit until they know there's a project, and there's not gonna be a project until we get some kind of commitment. And so I didn't know how, we're anxious to get back to these people, because we've got several.
Well, this is a good start, I mean, we would
Yeah,
make
that's,
this
that looks
public.
great, and
Yeah.
so if we can, one question was, can we show them that? And then, you know, some people are wanting to pick lots, so, that's the thing, we were hoping to be able to show that, maybe,
I don't see any reason why people can't have a copy of this, do you, Mark?
Yeah, what's
That-
why,
so that- I mean, really,
that's why we're voting for this.
ultimately-
See, I think this
Yeah.
is like a little,
Ultimately, that's really the, you know, I want the city aware of it, I wanna be able to distribute it. I
yeah,
think it would be very good to get a letter of interest, you can get contact information for those people, that's the next step, you know, I think that's where we go,
If you put,
with it.
put city logo on there, then it looks like that, you know, that you're basically the city's, this is the city's project.
Well, this is a city's project, in a way it is.
The city authorized me
We
to put this
authorized
together.
them to do
That's-
it.
the
I-
city
I-
authorizes it.
I don't know. That's my personal
I
opinion. If you, I mean, what do you think, Larry?
Yeah, I think that the city's logo should be on it, and that's what we're voting on. We're voting on, I mean, we authorized Chastain to do this. We're voting on kind of a stamp of approval that, hey, this is what we've been talking about.
Okay.
And we're the ones who are gonna be purchasing the property and subdividing it and marketing it. So yeah, I think that it's appropriate for it to be on it.
Cool.
Need a motion to approve the preliminary subdivision plan for road assumption?
How do we get the distributor, are we gonna put it on the webpage?
We
Facebook,
can,
what?
we've had, people asking us, so our first thing would be maybe going after those people, but
And get, just need to let them
it-
see.
I don't know if you're ready to put it on your own webpage, but because we have this situation where we need to have 5 people committed.
Yeah.
So can, what's everybody, how do you?
I don't care how we
Grow-
distribute it, I mean, we can let them handle it all.
Grow
We can
assumptions.
have Grow Assumption handle it all.
Okay.
If you want it, I mean,
That's all we're doing.
I think that'd be
we're
awesome.
certainly willing to stay involved in this, even, you know, if this proceeds with the city, we're willing to help and be involved, cause there needs to be like an architectural committee and various things down the road. But my question would be then, what type of commitment do you want from these people? You know, as far as, it can't hardly obligate them, because there's not a project just yet that's been approved,
Well,
but it's,
remember when we met with, Mike Corzine, he said that they can do a, you know, a $500 earnest money letter, basically, that we can word it to where, you know, the only way they would lose their money is if they back out. You know, if the project doesn't go, something dramatically changes in, you know, what they were told that was available. Basically, anything other than they just come to you and say, you know what, we changed our mind, we're out.
well, there's
I
a
don't think,
covenant.
right now, yeah, we don't have a subdivision plat, we don't have anything, I think there just needs to be this issued and a notice, or a letter of interest. And then we'll have contact information from those 5 individuals, then it comes back and then we further discuss it, that's.
I agree, and yeah, because
Okay.
we're not gonna get those letters of intent until we've gathered enough interest for the city to say, okay, we wanna purchase this property and annex it, at which time we'll get a purchase sale agreement in place that's contingent upon getting letters of intent. At that point, we're gonna work with engineering to get a final subdivision, to then market, to get these binding letters of intent where they pick out which lots they actually want, if they want to put that down, and then they're putting the money in, and then we annex it in. And there are a lot of steps. This is what it might look, this is kinda what it's gonna look like. Are you interested? That's what.
So would you be drawing up some kind of a letter that we could use that would satisfy? I wanna be sure that we don't come in with 5 letters from people, and then you say, well, this isn't good enough for, you know, so I didn't know it.
Well, somebody, like, I had one woman send me this big long text about how she wanted this to happen, and I
Uh-huh.
said, would you be interested in buying a lot there and building? And she said, no. I don't
Yeah.
live in Assumption and I don't want to.
But,
Now, that
no,
shows a lot of interest, doesn't it?
but Susie, the idea for that is
One
just,
person.
you've got people who
Who
have
wants
an
to run
interest.
things from some other place that
Well,
has no
they're
interest in
Tax,
this.
they're taxpayers here. I mean, a lot of those people are own property here.
They may, but you know
Yeah.
what? They made it clear they didn't wanna live here. That's pretty
That's
pathetic,
good.
Joyce.
Oh,
That's very pathetic.
But yeah, I think as far as the letter, I
They're
think
paying
that's
taxes,
about.
right?
yeah, they're paying
Yeah.
taxes
down
here.
the
and-
road,
no.
isn't it?
For the letter from me, yeah, I think right now it's more just people in their own words telling the council, yeah, I'm interested in this project and I would seriously consider purchasing the lot, or I'm in favor of it. I don't think the letter that I draw up will be the binding letter.
Okay,
That'll be the legalese.
so a letter of interest that just says basically they're, I mean, seriously interested in it,
Yes.
not supporting the project like you're talking about, but, interested in buying. It would be,
Those would be more important, however, if there is an expression of interest where I'm very happy where I live, but I think this would be good for the city and I would support my tax dollars going to it, I think that would help inform the council as well.
right,
But what I care about more is letters of serious interest in purchasing.
right, so there's two things that could help, both of those, okay. That helps me, you know, there's these covenant agreements that we hope to implement in this development, so it doesn't just end up being, you know, I mean, it needs to be, some people wanna come back and make sure that when they build, that there are certain, standards that are met in this development, you know, so. That's great, thank you.
Alright, so we have we have a first, do we know? Okay. Need a motion to approve to distribute the preliminary subdivision plan for Grove Assumption. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second. Roll call please.
Walden,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes. Alright, up next, we have the motion to renew the GIS system for $700 for our water department.
I'll make that motion.
Do you want a second, Travis? All right. Any discussion? Roll call please.
Nelson,
Yes.
Walden,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes. Alright, up next, we have the motion to renew for the CUSI for $1,700.
What's that?
I think that's for our water.
Building.
Yes, billing software for our water.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Roll call please.
Burgess,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Walden,
Yes.
Alright, up next, we have the motion to approve sanitary sewer phase 2 loan agreement with modification of principal loan forgiveness. Mark, you can add a little bit of this?
Yeah, so I literally just got this yesterday, but I knew it was coming, so I don't think Janet's received the copy in the mail yet, but, so you have received your loan agreement, or you will, receive it in the mail. Basically, this says that, we can move forward with the sewer phase 2 project, we can award it to the contractor and get construction, moving forward. The state has the funds to cover the entire cost of the project. Couple things that changed are the interest rate, so it has bumped up a little bit, it's 0.93%, which is still ridiculously low, it was 0.8, and then the amount of principal forgiveness is slowly going away, there's more funds, but there's less funds, as we continue, so principal forgiveness does everybody have a copy of this? I mean, I just got it yesterday, but so 2.46 million would be principal forgiveness, and the total cost as we have submitted it, that includes $600,000 of allowances, one for the spoils pile. They did authorize approval of that to be included if the city wants to. We'll talk about that at the water committee meeting. And then also $200,000 in water mains and other utility relocation if we need it. That's not in this letter, in this list, so, but it's just part of the bidding. So 7.7, 7.76, yeah, million for the project, so.
I'm sorry, Mark, did you say the interest went up or down?
Just went up a little bit, so.
Cause
yeah.
cause I said on here it was reduced from 1.24 down to.
So 0.93. It went down per the year, but it's, or per the, what the requirements are for small community interest rate, but last it was 0.8%.
Okay.
So down from, the previous loan, or
I
up,
got you.
sorry, up from the previous loan to 0.93. And that's just because if everybody follows the world, you know, interest rates are creeping up. So yeah, I'd like to, you know, have approval to, you know, to get this executed and then get the contracts awarded, for construction to get going.
I'll make a motion to approve this.
Alright, you have a second? Roll call, please.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Walden,
Yes.
Smith. Yes.
Alright, next we have the motion to approve disbursement for Burdick Plumbing for the La Rochelle project for $27,586.80.
So I want to make a clarification, you know, so I know there's been some discussions about, you know, these disbursements and how they've worked and, you know, over the last, you know, number of projects that we've done at the City of Assumption, we turn in these disbursements to the state, and then we wait, usually it's 30, 45 days for the check to come back from the state, and then we issue payment to the contractor. And usually the contractor, 30, 45 days is reasonable. And so that's what we do with this. So we would, you would approve me to submit this dollar amount to the state, and then we would wait 30, 45 days, assuming, you know, I would assume by then the other remaining checks have started to come in, and this one's gonna be 30 to 45 days. And then there will be no questions about, you know, trying to move and move, but I can't guarantee anything, you know, I'm not the state, so I just wanna make sure everybody's aware that's how the process works is, you know, I bring the pay request disbursement to the city for the work that has been done over the last month, 2 months, depends on how often I bring the pay request to the board. And then that authorizes us to submit it to the state, and then the contractor is okay with that 30, 45 days. And that's the way it typically works in the industry. To make sure everybody's aware. So you're approving me to submit it to the state for the work that's been done.
So should we reward that then? So the disbursement for Burdick should be rewarded for disbursement for him to send it into the state and not to Burdick?
It is for Burdick's work,
Right.
so it is a disbursement to Burdick, but
Right.
it's, I follow, I mean, you know, you can word it however you like, I guess. I mean, you're authorizing me to pay Burdick, but what you're, to submit it to the state to wait for the funds, and, you know, that's typical how it works. I don't, if you wanna word it something different, I don't, you know.
I think this is the clearest notification to the public of what's actually happening. So I like the wording on this, and there's, I don't like to get into too much explanation in our agenda item.
Yes.
I think this is kind of a whole picture of what's happening.
I just wanna make sure I was clarifying how it works, so I know there's.
Do you have a motion? Don, I don't know. Okay, Donnie will do it. Do we have a second? Roll call, please.
Smith. Yes. Walden,
Yes.
Sullivan, Reed,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Alright, up next, we have a motion to approve disbursement for verdict for Division B for lead is $39,704.70.
I'll make that motion.
Have a second? I'll second. Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Reed,
Yes.
Smith. Yes. Nelson,
Yes.
Walden,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Sullivan.
Yes. Alright, up next, we have a motion for a 90-day time extension for Division A and B for water.
So we do, for Division A, we have the nitrate system installed. We haven't done startup on it yet. We are waiting for mag meters. That's really what this extension is for Division A. And then Division B is the lead project that we're There's three services that were yet to replace, and if your the water meeting on Samuel Street, you know, the plans from early on say there's a 4-inch main running down down Samuel. There's actually a 2-inch for 3 homes. So we're turning in a permit to install a water main. That was approved last board meeting, and so we can't finish those 3 remaining services until we get that water permit and get the water main installed. So that's why we're doing it for Division B, to keep the project open. Yes, these have been, you know, we have been keeping them open for a while. That's because we're using the funds. You know, that's the purpose for it. So.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Walden,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Alright, up next we have a change order is needed for non-lead Division B for verdict for $3,850.
So, this work was done roughly a year ago, and this is paperwork, passing to the state, so, there was a service line on First Street that did not qualify for the lead program because we didn't have to, it wasn't lead, so it needs to be moved to the non-lead, project, and that's why there's a change order form to get it processed and allow it to be eligible through the non-lead program.
You need a motion?
Yes, we need approval for the change order.
Payment.
I'll make that motion.
You have a second? Roll call, please.
Burgess,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Walden.
Yes. Alright, discussion and action as necessary on sanitary sewer system phase 1, project items is properly brought to the board.
There were a couple punch list items that there were some asphalt repairs that they've done, and we're very close to getting the punch list, 100% where we're happy with it. If anybody has any, questions or whatnot, I'd like to soon get that final payment to Petersburg, for the city has received those funds, just haven't released them yet, so. That's it for phase 1.
Alright,
Somebody has questions?
discussion and action is necessary on sewer sanitary system phase 2, project items are properly brought to the board.
So yeah, we were just authorized to award the project, so I would definitely, will be getting the contracts, passing back and forth, get bond and insurance, and, get the contractor, going. We'll schedule a pre-construction meeting. I don't know when that'll happen, but we'll also, talk more about this project at Water to, make sure everybody's aware of what's going on, so. That's it for sewer phase 2.
The discussion and action is necessary on water system improvements project items is properly brought to the board.
So this is the nitrate and lead project, and I just kind of gave an update for where those are at, so I don't need.
Discussion and action is necessary on water system improvements phase 2, the new water plant building.
So Janet and I have been working on getting the application packet together for the new water treatment plant grant, and so I think we'll be getting that turned in probably this month, and then see where we go from there.
Thank you. Discussion and action is necessary on the La Rochelle project is properly brought to the board.
That project's pretty well wrapping up. The ground's been leveled, and they'll have some more dress up a little bit here and there, and some seating, but it's close to getting finished. So.
Well, thank you very much. Other comments on non-agenda items, anything? If not, we have a motion to adjourn.
I got
You got something? Okay, go ahead, Dana.
with the fest, this past year, a couple weeks ago, the beer tent that was set up at the tennis courts uptown. It's a new company than what is usually always used, and the old company used to reuse the anchors. This new company put in all new anchors, and after the fest, they left the anchors standing up out of that concrete about that high.
Yeah.
All over that court, on the skate park
Yeah.
side, the basketball court side. And I reached out to Angel and to Angie, and, she contacted the company, and I told her, I said, that concrete's old, I don't want those anchors pulled, cause I knew it would bust the concrete. And I also did not want them filled with spray foam like they did on the road out here. And she's got email communication with them where she told them not to pull the anchors, Couple of days later, I stopped back up there and they pulled the anchors. So now there's chunks of concrete pulled out all over that tennis court uptown. And there's 2 of the anchors that are actually still sitting there. So I'm in the process now of, Angel happened to have some pictures of the tent, how it was set up. But I need a couple more that show the other end of it so I can see how the anchors were set up to count, double check, because I counted 30 spots.
Yeah.
And they said that they didn't have 30 anchors in there. Well, they told Angie, after she called them, that, if we could fix it for under $200, they would pay for it to be fixed. It's gonna cost more than $200 to have somebody else come in and do it. So she contacted them again. The one lady was gone on vacation or a wedding or something. But she talked to them again today, and the lady would not give the insurance company. She would not give the owner's name and contact information. I have the name of the event company, the phone number, address, everything like that. But they told Angie that they would come back and fix it now. I think around the 21st is whenever they're clear, their schedule's cleared. But they want me to be there with them whenever they do it. I mean, I don't wanna say my opinion, cause I don't want it to come back, but I think we need to hire somebody to do it. I personally would do it myself.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that would be if I would do it and we'd send them a bill for $200. I don't know the legality of that.
What do you think of
for-
that, Greg? I mean,
Well,
Angel's on the
We
Assumption Fest
even said
committee.
that we had turned into
Yeah.
our insurance, and our insurance can go after the need to be. Cause we have insurance.
I mean, what type of have we gotten an estimate, what type of?
No,
No,
that's-
Cost.
no.
What do you think it would cost, and
I counted 30 spots up there that need fixed, and they said that they didn't have 30 anchors. So that's
are we
why
gonna
I'm
have
trying to
resurface,
find,
like the whole tennis court, I mean,
no, just at least patch those holes.
okay.
Because I mean, it is old concrete, but the one side is used for skate park, the other side's used for a basketball court, and this company said that that's how they always leave it everywhere they set tents out.
They did something to a road too.
Yeah, the road out here where the tent was, they sprayed the holes that they pulled out of there, they sprayed the holes with spray foam. And they sprayed a couple of them over there on that court whenever I asked them not to.
I mean, if it, who's our insurer, is it,
Homeowners insurance.
okay, and what would the deductible be on that? I mean, would we even touch the deductible?
Right, we may not touch the deductible, but, I mean, it just depends on what it's, gonna cost. We're gonna have to get an estimate for sure.
Mhm.
I mean, I could reach out to a couple actual contractors to see,
Well,
to get estimates.
I'm assuming I'm assuming that's gonna be a prevailing wage
Mhm.
project.
Yeah.
And we can't allow them to come fix it and improve our public works if they're not paying prevailing wage, and I
Mhm.
doubt that they've even considered that.
Okay.
Do we have a contract with them?
The city, no.
No, we don't.
I mean,
But I don't
We
think we,
do.
yeah, Assumption Fest does.
Assumption Fest has a contract with them. So they could come and fix it because we have a contract with them.
Let's see, the
But
city
we
of
don't want them to
Assumption,
fix it if they're gonna fix it like they're doing now.
Assumption Fest, a 501c3, what is Assumption?
Non-for-profit.
Yeah. Maybe can I see that, and then we can
Mhm.
talk
Yeah.
about what the best way to move forward is?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can forward that to you.
Okay, we'll do that.
okay.
Well, this sounds interesting.
It is.
Yeah, she sent me the
I'm
photos.
seeing
you know.
somebody.
They were all over the court. Pete actually called me and asked if Darren and I could wait to put the skate park stuff back to where it was supposed to go, cause there are acres for those. And, told me what was going on, and I went up there and looked, and I was shocked.
That would be a terrible puncture wound.
And that the
Someone
company
fell.
said that that's how they always leave it, they always leave their acres like that.
Why have festival?
No,
I mean,
don't.
there's no
We've
way.
been on it for years.
I mean, I've
Oh
got
my
pictures,
God.
I've got pictures of the acres,
They
and
sent kids to do it,
Yeah, and
first of all, that didn't know what they were doing, is what they did.
after they went up there and pulled them, and I was up there walking around looking, there's 2 of them that they left, and I tripped over them.
Oh, no.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can't have it.
mm-mm.
It's a mess. Dana sent 17 pictures to me.
Yeah, I have them. Should I supposed to email those to you?
Yeah, pictures, and we'll figure out what to do.
What did I do?
Yeah, we probably shouldn't put the skate park back.
I
and
mean, maybe we
caution tape
should,
it off.
maybe you should lock it for now,
Not in use.
not in use for now.
We could, there could be in
Because
there.
if somebody goes up there and gets hurt, that's gonna be on the
But
city.
now
Are
they've
the
went
Yeah.
pins
them
been
out.
pulled? Are there any pins still there?
There's two of them still there.
Yeah,
You should, okay, we'll lock it. Dana, can you do that? Lock it
Yeah,
down?
there's one side that doesn't have it's an
And we took
opening.
that off,
Maybe
we
clearly-
took our stuff down, didn't we?
I can try to find
Holes or
some way to
something.
put it on.
Yeah.
Clearly mark it
Okay,
so it becomes an open and obvious danger,
okay.
which helps protect the city, but it shouldn't have been left that way, and we have,
Right.
we have recourse as a city, through common law, to get our facilities back
Back
up
to
to
what-
where they were, but then there's probably a contractual remedy as well. The issue is, I don't know that, I wanna see the contract,
Yes.
so I know all of the insurance players.
Is this who you always have had?
No.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
This is a new
I've never
event place
heard
out of
this problem.
Springfield. We used to have Heights sold it
Yes.
out
Yes,
to another company.
and, okay.
Yeah,
Had
the
problems
ones,
with them
the
last
old
year.
anchors that are in there that
So we
Heights
went
have
with the new
used in the
company
past,
this year.
they're flush.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't stick up
Yeah.
at all. And Heights always reuse the same ones, so.
Yeah, can you get those to Greg? I can give you his email.
Yeah.
Thank you. Alright, anything else? We'll take a motion to adjourn, please.